So, what's going on, guys? It's Brian Pickowitz here at BP Fitness, and this is the Monday Rant. So I have a lot of things I want to talk to you guys about this week, but the big thing I want to talk to you guys about, and this might piss some people off, this might get some people mad, and if you're a parent, you're probably going to look at what I'm saying right now, and you're probably going to really wish that I would just shut my mouth. But there's a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about, that there's so many people who are going to watch this video, and they're going to be going through these decisions in the next couple months, next couple weeks, and I want to talk to you guys about why you shouldn't go to college, and why I think that a college education isn't what it's supposed to be all cracked up to be. Now, when I look at where I am now and I look at the experiences I've had, I do have a college degree. But if I was existing in the ecosystem that is right now, 2017, I probably wouldn't have gone to college. And I look at the decision that I made to go to college, and I think that there's a big difference between going to college and getting an education. And so what I want to talk to you guys about is the difference. So if you're watching this video and maybe you're a post-grad, or maybe you're in a situation where you're thinking about going to college, or maybe you're in a situation where you just graduated and you haven't found that thing that makes it go, that makes you feel passionate about what you're doing, this video is for you. Now, what I want to talk to you about is the difference between going to college and getting an education. Right now, where we exist in, obviously in the United States, but in this ecosystem of social media, entrepreneurship, all these different things, is you do not have to go to school to get an education. You do not have to go to college. You don't have to spend this money to find yourself. I think that college was worth the investment for me because I knew what my path was. I knew what I wanted to do, and I had a vision of what that was. But there's so many people who I talk to on a daily basis who are post-grads, who graduated with me, who are people who I see through social media or I talk to on a daily basis. They're just people who are going through the motions of being in a system where they graduated and now they have no idea what to do because they spent 4 years, they spent thousands of dollars that they didn't have on trying to figure out what they were supposed to do. When realistically, if you're watching this video, I can tell you right now that each one of us has an idea of what we want. That's the truth. I think every single one of us has an idea that we want, then we need to act on that. For me, I've always been passionate about athletics. I've always been passionate about human contact. But I knew that going into school that that's what I was going to study. I got a great education at St. Anselm College. I'm so proud of the fact that I was able to stick through that because it was so difficult. But looking at it right now, it might have been more practical to take some smaller level classes somewhere else and balance out and find myself in a different way. But so what I want to say to you guys is, don't get trapped into thinking that you have to do what everyone else is doing. The reason why I'm making this video is not because I think that college is bad or it's a waste of money. It's because I feel like so many people feel like they're trapped and sucked into going because they feel like they have to. Or they're afraid that because Sally's going and because Joe has a really good scholarship, that I'm gonna feel like shit if I don't have something that matches up to that. It's all about ego. And the truth is, guys, the people who you are looking at right now, the people who you are saying like, I want to be like them, or I want to compete with them, or I don't want to feel like shit because of what their opinion is, they do not fucking matter. Those people don't fucking matter, and they're not going to be in a place to judge you at all. If you have something that you're passionate about, and I'm speaking to the kid who's 18 years old, I'm speaking 18-year-old me right now, because I could tell myself in this situation that if I had the ability to get mentored by someone like Grant Cardone, or even though he's not my favorite, like Ty Lopez, all these people who have these products that you can spend money on and invest in yourself to get to where you want to be and learn how to be an entrepreneur, or just go on YouTube and start figuring out what you want and take that time that you would be spending on, connecting with people in college. I think that there's so many people who go to college because they're afraid of missing out. And to be honest, guys, the reason why I feel like I did so well in college wasn't because of the classes I was necessarily in. It's because I was going to class and I was working full time. So I learned the certain skills that made it so I knew when I was getting out what I wanted to do. If I wasn't able to be in a position where I was an assistant manager at a supplement store, I would have been so much further beyond where I am now. And I'm not trying to say I'm in this great position, but I'm saying that the tools that I have that I've been able to work with my clients on were based off the skills that I learned in college and through working full time. I think that too many people don't double down on this. They're so afraid that if they're not going out to the parties, or if they're not drinking, or if they're not having a bunch of stupid sex, all these stupid things that they are told that they have to do, that they're gonna miss out and they're gonna be judged, and then they're gonna look back in 10 years and say, wow, I really wish I would have had a great time, or I really wish I would have gone this way. The truth is, guys, if you're in this video, if you're watching this video, and maybe you're a post-grad, and you can, maybe you agree what I'm saying, maybe you don't, and that's fine. But if you're in a situation where you are thinking of going to college because of that, I want you to think about some certain things that are going to make it so that you have a better idea of where you want your life to be. You have to have a vision of what that is. And maybe you're telling yourself, well, I don't know, so I'm gonna spend this time on figuring it out. $100,000 is a lot of money to figure something out. If I could go back and I could, tell myself 3 things that I should have done, I would have removed toxic people from my life in a faster time. And there's not that the people who were around me weren't good people, but they were holding me back. I couldn't see clearly. It kept me at a focal point where I wasn't seeing growth, I was seeing stagnation. And so that's what I would tell you to do. Remove the toxic people from your life. The second thing I would do is I tell every single kid that I talk to is get a sales job. And I'm not talking sales like being a slimy person who's just trying to get people to buy things. But I think that if you look at anyone who's successful, they know how to sell something. And all selling something means is that they know how to show someone value to meet their goals. That is what sales is. And so if you get into a position where, even if it's retail, and you're talking to people, and you're associating with them, and you're trying to understand what they're actually trying to get. The biggest thing for me was learning that when someone came into my store, I wasn't just offering them, hey, this is a great product so you can buy it. It's like, what are you trying to maximize with your goals? And that's what you should focus on. Because if you understand that, you understand the pillar of entrepreneurship. And the third thing that I think is the most important that I didn't start to do until about 3 years ago is travel. Get out of where you are right now. And I'm not saying that you're in a bad place, because I don't know where you're watching this from, but if I would have been 18-year-old me and I would have taken some of the trips that I have and had some of the experience I've had, it would have completely transformed my life in a faster means. I've had the ability to travel to California and drive up and down the coast. I've had the ability to go to Australia. I've had these opportunities because I worked, but they changed my life because they showed me that there's so much more out there. There's so much more to experience. So college is a great way to get there, but it's not necessarily what you have to do. And so, like I said, I think that there's a difference between getting an education and going to college. If you're going to college, to go to college and have a good time and do the college thing that I think is such bullshit. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I spent my time in college fucking hustling my face off. And I don't tell you that to make it so I have an ego and I show off. I'm telling you that because that's what my focus was. Even when I was playing college football, I was still working 2 or 3 jobs at a time. I was still in a position where I was hustling and trying to get bigger and better in bodybuilding because that was my focus. And so even when I was, done that, for those of you who don't know, I was able to, and I was very blessed and grateful to get a full ride my last year because of my grades, because of how hard I worked, and because of the amount of involvement I had on campus. That still didn't stop me from working a job full-time and building my business and lifting and doing all the things that I had to do to get to this point right now. And so those things were education. Going to college is different. So you don't have to go to college in order to get a great education. And if you are going to college, focus on using that time to grow. Do not use that time to fuck off. Do not use that time to play video games. Don't use that time to, hang out with people and be bros. I think that the process of elimination makes it so there's so many people who I see who graduate and just aren't fulfilled. And if you're watching this and you're a post-grad, and you're watching this and you're saying to yourself, I connect with that, you guys don't have to do the shit that you're doing right now. Like, you can always change. You can always get to a position where you're pursuing your passion, even if that doesn't mean you're making money off of it. You don't have to make money to be able to do something that you love. You don't have to be in a position where, you quit your job in order to pursue that one thing that makes you happy. But I can guarantee that if you don't act on the thing that you're looking at right now that you want, 5 years, 10 years down the line, it's gonna only get worse. And I'm making this video not to rail on college, not to rail on higher education, but to really tell people that you're not in a position where you're stuck. You're not in a position where you have to do one thing. You know, the decisions we make shape who we become. The decisions we make shape our destiny. And if you're looking at this right now and you're saying to yourself, there's things that I want to exist in my life, but I'm just not sure how to get there. You don't have to drop everything. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. You can produce what you want. You can decide to act and start to transform your life. I look at, guys, right now, this business is so much more than I ever thought it would be. You know, I've worked with over 250 clients now. You know, we're getting ready to launch the next projects and all these different things that are going to happen, and they're huge. And when I started this company, when I started this business and I started training people, there was no idea that this was going to be how it would actually shape up. And I still am incredibly blown away that it's even happened. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because you don't have to see the whole thing. You don't have to look at this mountain and say, wow, I want to be here and I'm here and there's no way I can take these steps. Just stop looking at all the obstacles in your way and start moving towards what you want. You know, there's so many times where we look at what other people are telling us to do. We look at our parents. We look at the influences around us. You know, if you're an older person, if you're an adult and you're watching this and you're saying, wow, this kid's a cynic, or he's 23 years old, what the hell does he know? I'm speaking to you guys too, because I know that there's something that in your life that you want. There's something that we all want, and there's something that usually we aren't acting on. There's things that I want to do that I'm still afraid of doing, and I'm starting to approach those situations and build and build and build. But it's that fear of taking that step that makes it so hard. But if you guys see that, if you see that there's only fear stopping you, you don't have to be afraid. You can let it go and you can start to focus on what you want. But maybe you fell, you know, and maybe you're in a situation where you failed and you're saying, I can't handle this failure anymore. Guys, you're never stuck. You're never done. The game always goes on. And if you're watching this, you have so much more life ahead of you. Each one of us, I'm 23 years old. I've got another 75 years of my life that I have to fail, to screw up, and to make it better. And that's what you're doing right now. So if you're watching this video, I'm on your side. I want you to do this. I'm telling you guys, you can do it. But this is your moment where you have to look at what you have, what you want, and you have to decide that nothing's gonna stop you. Not the people in your life, not the circumstances from where you come from, and not that bullshit story that everyone around you has told you that you'll never be enough or you'll never shape up to it. Guys, this is something that I think that every single one of us needs to understand. And the reason why I'm tying it to this whole thing is because we all do shit that we don't want to fucking do because people around us tell us that we're supposed to do it. You know, we're supposed to get a job and we're supposed to work 9 to 5 and we're supposed to hate our job and maybe we get 2 weeks of vacation at the end of the day, and that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. It doesn't have to be that way. If you have something that you want to do and it makes you happy, you go do that. You decide right now, this is going to be the moment where you step it up. And if you step it up right now and you change your mind right now and you decide this is the path that you want to take, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. You have unlimited potential in you. And I know that if you're watching this, you see that too. So, like I said, this video is not me railing on college. I think that, you know, from a personal standpoint, like I said, I got a fantastic education and I'm very grateful for that education. But if you're a post-grad and you're wondering what to do and you're in a situation where you're not quite sure what that next move is, just start acting on your passion. Start putting your purpose to something that's more than just where you're at right now, and see that there's an unlimited amount of potential for you. And if you're a kid, you know, you're watching this and you're saying, that changes my mind. Think about what your other options are. I chose between 3 colleges and they were all in the same place because I was afraid to move. I was afraid of stepping out on my own, and I was afraid of looking at where I wanted to be. So look at the places you want to go. Maybe you decide to go to a college that's far away. Maybe you decide to take that leap of faith. This is the time where you decide to take a chance because you're young and you have this opportunity. And if you're an adult and you're watching this, you know, obviously this is a message that I think that most kids are going to agree with, or most kids are going to hear. But if you're, you know, in a situation where you're older and you're watching this, I think that the same thing applies for your life too. And I've seen it happen in mine. I've seen it happen with my clients. You know, I work with people who are in their 50s and late 40s, and they start making decisions that change who they become, and they see the value in that. And the things that you want, they're there. You just have to act. You just have to act. So this is Brian Pickowitz with BP Fitness. This is not a message against higher education. This is a message for education. Hope you guys crush your week. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Boom Zeus.